one of these tech billionaire oligarchs speaking at the inauguration.
MCA video and get a copyright strike. I don't want to fucking... So, I don't know if you were watching yesterday, but it was, I guess, the pre-Trump ball. I didn't even know they were having a pre-Trump cryptocurrency ball. What the fuck is this world? Oh, my God. Anyways, amongst the performers were Snoop Dogg, who had previously said, fuck Donald Trump, has a music video where he simulates Donald Trump being shot in the face as part of, like, you know, the whole thing. But I guess, yeah, something has changed. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I think Rick Ross was there as well. And the Village People, who were performing YMCA. One of them wearing the assless chaps, and Donald Trump saluted the man in assless chaps. Again, that shit is, like... Nothing the right says, and please don't take any of it on face value, is actually said because they care about a cause. You know, a lot of them are fucking pedophiles, groomers, and rapists. And so if they're going to be pushing the narrative that drag queens are a danger to children, and the groomers, and leather daddies are hypersexualized, and they're, you know, going to be potentially damaging to children, all that shit is a lie. They don't give two fucks. Half of them are getting off the weekend watching wrestling, where you'll see men in thongs, sweaty as fuck, slamming into each other's bodies. And yes, there's tons and tons of children in the audience. Or you can just look at the pre-inauguration party of Donald Trump, sponsored by cryptocurrency, where he has a man in assless chaps dancing to a theme song that was initially written about the LGBTQ plus community, about going to the YMCA and having a good old time, because it was a safe space to go to for a lot of people who had been made homeless as a result of being kicked out of their houses or their communities, or being fired from their jobs once they've been discovered as being gay, where they would meet other gay people. And they would have a good time and feel safe there amongst the company of other gay people. That's what the song's about. Not that that matters to Trump or any of the Republicans or anybody who knows what this entire stuff is. But hey, and now Trump is saluting a man in assless chaps wearing a very easily identifiable piece of I would say LGBTQ plus regalia. But none of that matters. All the arguments for, like, well, yeah, people who dress like that are groomers. People who dress like that are da-da-da. Here's the president-elect saluting the man, again, wearing assless chaps. That there was not a special privilege given to liberals on online social media, and that right-wing content was dominating a lot of those platforms, specifically Facebook, aka Meta. It was also dominating on Twitter very slightly, and now that obviously it's become X, it's now overwhelmingly a right-wing app. And now you've got Mark Zuckerberg coming forward and being like, well, we're changing everything. We are now going to allow for a whole bunch of hate speech, especially hate speech that directly targets, vulnerable minorities, trans people. We're going to be removing trans themes, icons, and stuff like that from our chat services, like Messenger, and we are going to be returning masculine energy. Like this dude is going to be talking about fucking masculine energy. Nothing more masculine and secure in who you are than banning tampons in the men's bathrooms. Like, yeah, that's real manly, really secure in who the fuck you think you are to be able to do something like that and be like, this is what makes me a man, making sure that I get rid of any of those tampons in the bathrooms. Tampons in the bathrooms is woman things. Can't be near woman things or I become the gay. Like, what do you think if you even see a tampon, you'll turn gay, or you suddenly become force feminized? Oh my god, it's absorbent. What the fuck? What am I to do? Well, okay, even if you don't believe that trans people exist, even if you don't believe that trans men exist, even if you want to be a transphobe, do you not have girlfriends, wives, partners, friends who are women who might need a tampon? Is it not just extra convenient if you can't be like, oh yeah, sure, they're out in the women's bathroom, I'll go grab you one, no problem. of national success during his inaugural speech on Monday, progressives said the presence of some of the nation's most powerful billionaires at the event signals that the incoming administration's agenda will prioritize the success of the country's wealthiest. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, and Tesla CEO Elon Musk are amongst the billionaires set to attend the inauguration ceremony. The trio will have a prominent spot, according to NBC News, seated together on the platform with other notable guests, including Trump's cabinet nominees and elected officials. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos know a thing or two about screwing over workers. It's no wonder they're sitting ringside for the inauguration of a man who's built a career out of cheating workers, ripping off families, and skipping out on paying taxes. The billionaires in attendance today have one goal: to get even richer by gutting our healthcare, public education, and social security. We're going to expose their grift and bring new people with us along the way until working people are the ones with the power, not billionaire bosses. Lobbyists and corporations have donated over $200 million to today's inauguration of Donald Trump, a small price to pay for buying off history's most corrupt grifter-in-chief. A number of other high-profile billionaires are expected to attend the president-elect's swearing-in ceremony, including OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, Apple CEO Tim Cook, both of whom donated $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund, which brought in record-shattering donations. Trump's White House is governed by the billionaires for the billionaires, said Greg Kazar. Lobbyists and corporations have donated over $200 million to today's inauguration of Donald Trump, a small price to pay for buying off history's most corrupt grifter-in-chief. On day one, Trump has shown who he really is, a fighter for the wealthy, not for the working class, and also someone who's willing to rip off his own fucking fans. We're going to be talking about Trumpcoin soon, but I don't know if y'all saw right before the election, John Oliver did an entire special on Donald Trump, saying one of the real fears that he had is that Donald Trump is going to be using cryptocurrency scams to inflate his wealth. Well, it doesn't, he doesn't have the sight. He doesn't have Nostradamus on his writing staff. All you have to do is look to the history of Donald Trump and the kind of grifts that he runs, whether that be selling people shitty steaks, selling them shitty diamonds, selling them shitty property, selling them shitty education in the form of trunk schools, selling them NFTs. The guy has been grifting his own audience for a very long time, and basically now he's using the United States government as a fallback while he continues to grift them. Well, right before he was inaugurated, he launched Trumpcoin. Trumpcoin turned him into one of the world's top 25 richest people instantly, because like most cryptocurrency scams, a whole bunch of rubes just poured all their money in there, just dumped it all in. The last man standing scheme. Immediately I saw CoffeeZilla be like, wait, what the fuck? Oh my god, this is terrible. He owns 80% of the wallet. 80% of the tokens are owned by most likely Donald Trump. And a bunch of people are going to pour real money into that. There's no other situation where you can just do this openly and get away with it. Like if you walked out in front of an audience of people in a stadium, you held out a giant money bag, and that you said, hey, everyone, put all your life savings in this. Everyone, all of you, pour all your life savings into this giant bag of money right now, okay? Who controls it? I do. I control it. But the value of this is actually going to be represented by secret things, mystical things, tokens, if you will. And these tokens will make us all rich. So put all your money in the bag, and you're all going to get rich. And as they do that, he stands in the middle and then just starts grabbing the money and putting it into his own pocket in front of everyone. Well, smiling, just smiling and laughing. He could be laughing like a cartoon character, a superhero villain or something like that. Just be like, and everyone just sits there staring, being like, hold. Come on, if you all hold, we're going to the moon. And he's still hold, everybody, hold. The line can only go up, all right? Daddy's home. Daddy loves us. He wants us all to be rich. I know what this looks like. It does look bad. It looks like he's just literally taking our cash and putting it into his pockets. But don't worry. Soon we'll all be rich. And now, if you look at it, it has obviously been crashing all day. In free fall since the inauguration started. It's down to 39. It might be up a bit because it fluctuates very, like any unstable shitcoin. It goes up and down a lot. But like it's a lot lower than it was at its peak. I think it peaked at 65. So you're almost at half of what you put in if you had bought then. There's also people saying this Trump wallet sold over $32 million worth of Trump in 30 minutes without ever buying any tokens. How can that happen? How could someone make $32 million out of nowhere and they never even bought a single Trump coin? Almost as if Trump is holding all the fucking coins and can do whatever the fuck he wants with them.
Smashing the American economy, smashing the American democracy, and they're looting the contents. And so I think we should all be concerned, but also I want everybody to remember that we have the power. But people, when we organize, we're able to challenge corporate power. We're able to challenge even very, very powerful people like Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and others. And I think in this moment, it's not so much of a partisan moment because there's billionaires and there's corporate money on either side of the aisle. This is a time for everyday people to come together and organize against the billionaire class. And look, the faux populism of Donald Trump, he dropped that in a second once he got elected. It's clear who he's planning on supporting. He's supporting an agenda that might lead Elon Musk becoming a trillionaire and us having to pay the price.
Angelo,
it does give me a little bit of hope that this is on fucking MSNBC of all places, you know, very Bernie Sanders-esque messaging being allowed to be on a mainstream television network, whereas I've seen that a lot of the other TV networks are basically at this point just they've given up. They're all like, all right, well, let's just continue to consolidate power. Let's get as close to Trump as possible. Trump can be given a speech where he's just outright saying, yeah, Elon Musk really bought the election, really bought the election for me. That's cool. Yeah. Crickets, absolute crickets. You don't hear anything about it.
David Remnick has a new piece in the New Yorker where he writes that these multi-billionaires have shamelessly dispensed with principle to seek an indulgent new president's favor and enhance their fortunes. How dangerous could this get for everyday Americans? Is this just about, I mean, maybe walk us through how when these billionaires make more money and have more involvement in our politics, how does it become worse for the ordinary American?
Yeah, I think that's the question here about this in this moment, because as has already been discussed, the money in politics has had a corrupting and corrosive effect ever, even more so since Citizens United. That's been with us for a while. So what's the so what? What's different about this moment? And what's different about this moment is sort of what you set up there, which is that you have these, in part, these sort of tech oligarchs, right, who have and not just them, but then sort of the people ones outside of them who control our information landscape or have disproportionate influence over it. And so one of the effects is that we're at this inflection point where we can't go back. We're not just managing corruption and corrosive effects in politics. We're sort of moving to and dealing with sort of anti-democratic.
Elon Musk did a Sieg Heil at the inauguration. What?
Are one of these tech billionaire oligarchs speaking at the inauguration?
My heart goes out to you.
Did he just Sieg Heil?
It is thank.
Okay. There's times where people take clips of people giving speeches, and sometimes they can be waving. Sometimes they can be like, going like that, and then that's enough for them to use that clip and then be like, hey, that person's like doing the Sieg Heil. And then you're like, yeah, I mean, I don't think they were actually doing it. I think in that context. No, that I think that's the most brazen and blatant one I have ever seen outside of Hitler's Germany. What the fuck?
Anyway, let's look at one of these tech billionaire oligarchs speaking at the inauguration.
And he still did it like such a loser. Oh my god, they're all so cringe. Fucking hell. Like, it's one of the most fucking frustrating parts of all of this. It's just such losers. God damn it. We need to bring back swirlies. Like, the biggest evil nerds in the world are trying to burn the fucking planet down and get away with it. And of course they can, because they're all billionaires. Every single one of them. Oh my god.
Effects of having money in politics. We're on the other side now where we no longer have a functioning democracy. And what that means in practice is...
No, it wasn't me. It was the person who wrote that article. Kelly Madison, was that her name? I mean, like, that in and of itself, she nailed it. I always knew that rich, powerful men were going to burn the world down. I just didn't expect them to be such fucking losers. And it's true. San says, the Trump meme coin, a financial asset that didn't exist on Friday afternoon, now accounts for 89% of Donald Trump's net worth. Trump just became one of the top 25 richest people on earth through this. Insane. Open and now normalized corruption. Again, that you can do out in the open. That you can just brazenly do and no one can stop you. Like, this is what influencers have been doing for a long time and getting away with it. And so why the fuck wouldn't someone as corrupt as Donald Trump want to do this shit? If you have fucking Jake and Logan Paul being like, yo, we're launching Crypto Zoo, bros, get in, come on, pour all your money into this NFT. Phase 1, it's an egg. Phase 2, the egg hatches into like a little creature. Phase 3, that creature can battle other creatures. If you start out in the first phase and buy the eggs, then by the time you get to phase 3, your eggs are going to be worth so much money, bro. We're all going to get rich together. It's going to be amazing. I'm pouring all of my money and resources into this. The whole thing turns out to be a massive scam, a massive rug pull, a massive fucking grift. And people lose millions and millions of dollars and they profit from it. Does anyone hold them accountable? Do their own fans? Is anyone like, oh, well, yeah, no, I can't possibly even watch these dudes anymore because they just stole so much money from their own fan base. Like, if you don't care about the very people who gave you success, if you don't care about the very people who watch you, who your audience, like, how often is this going to happen over and over and over again before anyone learns better? And Donald Trump is doing it now. Again, blatantly in the open, became one of the world's top 25 richest human beings through this. At its like peak, it had $56.6 billion of assets poured into it. Now, if you don't know how cryptocurrency works, effectively what's happening here is Donald Trump says he's launching Donald Trump coin. He then controls 80% of the wallet, aka he controls 80% of the tokens of the coin. So whatever that coin becomes worth, he owns the majority of it, and the majority of it he can sell. So when they launch it, you need real people, of which there seems to be millions globally, to put in real money, as in transfer fiat currency into Trump tokens. They're buying Trump tokens with real money. So a lot of money goes into it. $56.6 billion. At which point, at any point that he wants, he can start to sell off assets. He could just sell off 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, 100 million, and then, you know, just watch it go like that. You don't want to do it all at once. If you do it all at once, everyone would be like, oh, the whole thing's a rug pull. Pull up, bros. But if you just say take out $100 million, well, that's okay. There's $56.6 billion in there. No one's going to notice that I just took out $100 million. You just made $100 million. You've turned something that has zero value, a token, a digital token, and you've turned that into $100 million because people poured in real money for it. And you can just keep on doing that. And then all of a sudden, Melania announces she's doing the exact same thing, and the whole thing just goes brrrr, because all like the whales were like, oh shit, sell. Fuck this noise.
I'm in so much pain this week. Today. Oh, today we had the launch of Melania token. It's barely been 24 hours since Trump launched, and already, baby, we're back with another meme coin from the First Lady. What can I say? I spent years of my life trying to tell people to do the right thing. Don't take advantage of your followers. Don't scam people. Don't.
Oh, you thought it was a joke? Oh, no. This is real life. All of this is real life. This is all real life. This is all happening. Yeah, America is for sale. It always has been, you know. I want to keep pointing out that this is not the first time that billionaires, aka the elites you always hear about, they run the show. Yeah, they've always been in control. Right now, the difference is that they're doing it out in the open and they don't give a fuck anymore. It's like they know they've won. That's why all of a sudden all of these tech CEOs who once would have never gone anywhere near Trump. Come on, he was toxic. He tried to upend democracy. He tried to instigate a coup. He's a convicted criminal. He's a serial rapist. Like, he's really fucked up. Like, one of the most fucked up Americans living today. You wouldn't want to touch that. And then all of a sudden, everyone is. Every single fucking tech oligarch is coming out and being like, yeah, I'm putting $1 million. I'm putting $1 million. I'm putting $1 million. Hey, you know the benevolent billionaires, the good ones you keep hearing about, the Bill Gates? Bill Gates sat down with Trump. He's kissing the ring. Everyone's kissing the ring. Because all of a sudden they're like, oh, it's like how the right-wingers and Republicans are like, we're allowed to use the N-word now? You were always allowed because no one's going to prevent you from saying anything, motherfucker. But that doesn't mean people aren't going to be disgusted that you're a vile racist. That was just kind of the thing. You could always say it. You might get shut down. You might lose your platform, or you might have people criticize you for being a racist. But you always could say it. Do you want to say it? Because it really seems like you want to say it. That's what it seems like. Well, now we're in a time when all of these tech oligarchs are like, I couldn't just openly and brazenly be like, I don't give a fuck about people. I think of them as trash. I think of them as expendable ones and zeros. That's how I view the world, and that's how I view all human beings, because like that's what they do. They profit off our social interactions. That's their business model. Off us talking to each other, us sharing our dreams, our hopes, our sadness, our stories, our anger. All of that is what their business model is based on. Taking all of that data, aggregating it, and selling it off to other companies who are like, yes, I want to know what humanity is like. Sure, yeah, humanity for sale. Here you go. This is what they've always thought, but they've always had this mythos of being progressive, actually caring about causes. We care a lot about LGBTQ plus people. We care a lot about civil rights and Black Lives Matter. We are here for the struggle. We want to fight with you. That was all front-facing bullshit. This is why I've always warned people for years now at the dangers of rainbow washing, greenwashing, what actually is going on behind the scenes. All of these are just massive multinational corporations that don't fucking care about humanity. They want to see us burn, so line go up. That's it. That's all they care about, is the fiduciary responsibility they have to their shareholders. Always was. You know why I would be like, oh, it's fucking awesome that Nick Fuentes just got platformed, and I've had all these weirdos be like, no, but the free speech, Lance. What about the free speech? We cannot support this. We have to support free speech no matter what, because it's really bad, even if a Nazi gets taken down, because we have to care about this, because if they silence the people we disagree with, they can silence us all. They already can. They control the social media. Do you not realize that? These are not public forums. This is not the public square. If you say that, you are deluding yourselves. These are corporations run and incentivized to make a profit. They don't care about human beings. They have been making us all collectively more angry at each other, more insane. They have been using their algorithms and gambling mechanics to continuously keep us watching, looking, and more attentive on their screens and platforms. And that's all they've ever cared about. Whistleblower after whistleblower comes out and be like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I know. I worked for Facebook for a really long time. I worked directly on the teams that would work on our AI systems, and that's exactly it. We promote incendiary content. We get everyone more polarized. We get everyone more angry. We get everyone more fucking upset and frightened because it keeps you glued, because it's addictive, because it keeps you on our platforms, and that's what we need. We are an attention fucking commodity. We need you to have your attention glued to our products and continuously putting more of your information in there. The angrier you are, the more frightened you are, the more scared you are, the more your fingers will move to being like, oh, I'm so mad at this. Oh, I'm so upset at this. I can't believe so-and-so did that. I can't believe so-and-so did that. Post, 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 post. Other people seeing that, whoa, your post is making me upset too. I have to let everyone know. I'm so mad at this. I'm so upset about this. I'm so angry about this. Post, 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 post. Boom. Metrics going through the roof. All of a sudden, it's like, they never cared about social causes. They're well aware that they are fucking destabilizing society. They're destabilizing humanity. They can be like well observed and told that, hey, by the way, there are genocides taking place that are being facilitated with your social media. And they'll just be like, oh, yeah. How about that? Oh, okay. Well, what about Cambridge Analytica? What about the massive amounts of data that you have sold off to people who are using it for very nefarious purposes? What about the influence that is playing and the role that plays in destabilizing the democratic process and getting people to vote for things like Brexit? That's bad, right? Is it? I don't know. No way of truly knowing. So now they don't have to hide that shit anymore. To them, it's just like, oh, nice. We don't have to play pretensies. We don't have to pretend that we don't give a fuck about humanity, that we view them as trash. Cool. Yeah, all right. We love Trump. I will stand beside Trump. I'm going to the inauguration. I'll stand beside him. Mark Zuckerberg can stand there too and be like, oh, we need more masculine energy. And that's just what they're going to do now. That this is the fucking future.
Grift. You know, otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere in life. You're not going to get to the highest office of the land. That's crazy. And, you know, if you do it too much, law enforcement might come after you. Now.
Oh, yeah, no, you're totally right. Now it's gotten to the point where they don't even care if you're human anymore. They are now going to be flooding their social media apps with bots, with AI trained on human interactions to interact more, to inflate their numbers. So it makes it look as if A, it's more populated and more people are using their platforms than ever before. But B, you now never really truly know if a person you're arguing with online is a fucking human. You could have spent your whole day upset and mad at someone who had been replying to you and posting to you, and it turned out the entire time it was ChatGPT. It was a fucking bot. It was a bot that could read and know exactly how to incentivize and get you angry. To make you upset enough to post back, because if a human's responding, that's good. So all of a sudden it's like, I know, you know, based on the algorithm, that I have a 72% chance of having you reply if I say and do the following things. So I'm going to do that, and then boom, oh, I got a positive result. You replied, and in that reply, I'm not human. I have no emotion. I do not care at all about what you've said, but I'm going to be looking for keywords. In those keywords, all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, you said a couple things there. Okay, I know that I can get a 67% chance at having you reply if I reply to those keywords with these keywords. No success then, but I tried it again. Oh, reply, good. Okay, so I can get that person even angrier, and then we're doing that, and you're battling bots. Fucking battling bots online, not interacting even with fucking human beings. It's a nightmare. Like, listen to Ed Zitron. Listen to him talk about this kind of stuff, because he lays it out. Yes, it's true. If you have people who tell you that the internet at one point was supposed to be this like utopia of free thought and free expression, it was going to be the Wild West. You were allowed for the first time to spread information for free. Knowledge, the sum total of it, could be given to any human being, not just the elites who can afford university, but anyone who wants to can have higher education and learn all of how the operations and the histories of the world and the mechanics and the physics and the engineerings and all that stuff. We can spread information for free. We can democratize it. That was a lot of the ideas. And then 5 companies came up and swallowed the whole thing. There's 5 companies that dominate the majority of our internet activity. Doesn't matter what websites you go to. Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. That's all the same company. You're still in the same company. Yeah, it's true. How about all the companies owned by Shopify? How about all the companies owned by Amazon? How about all the companies owned by Google? They were running out of umbrella corporations. Because it doesn't matter if you want to, I want to go on YouTube. No, don't spend time on YouTube. Search the internet. Okay, on Google. All right. Well, you're still in the same website. Doesn't feel like it, but it's still the same company who runs both. Yeah, they're still looking at what you search for, looking at what you like, looking at what you watch, learning from that, and then also ingesting all of the things that you type so that they can build up their fucking AI servers and know how to regurgitate information back to you, because now they can use robots to talk to you. CoffeeZilla is very close to being radicalized. Everyone is right now. I want to say, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, this is a frightening time. Absolutely it is. There's no point in telling people that shit isn't fucked. I don't know why anyone would do that. That is the absolute truth. The wealth concentration by the elites is greater now than it ever has been in human history. And the richest, most fucking horrifying human beings who want to see the world burn, they now are brazenly and in the open flaunting their wealth and power. They're doing it in front of you right now at the inauguration of the richest, most powerful country in the world. There they all are. Look, all just palling around with each other, schmoozing with each other, shaking hands, being like, haha, we run the show. So yes, now has never been a better time to tell people the truth. To get them to realize this is how the shit all works. It's like, you might be frustrated and be like, I don't get how can a person who's a convicted criminal, a serial rapist, suddenly become like, this is Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. He tried to do a coup. He instigated a coup, a real thing that happened. He tried to upend democracy. He stole an election. But now every single fucking tech oligarch who have been trying to tell us they care about humanity and you know, spreading social media so that people can communicate with each other, they're all now besties with him. What's happening? It's all just rich and powerful people wanting to become more rich and more powerful. The billionaire brain, it's a parasite that completely destroys their minds. They don't think of human beings as human beings anymore. They think of them as dollars, money, walking dollar signs, ready to be exploited. And that's the reality of the situation. It's not a shock or a surprise at all that Trump would launch a cryptocurrency and in so doing become one of the richest human beings on the planet and get away with it. I mean, there's no real regulatory agency, even the FEC, that is going to say what he did was illegal, because it's all being done in the open. It's like, and very people who should be regulating this, who might be able to, you know, say we need to pass laws that do not allow for cryptocurrency rug pulls and that kind of stuff. Good luck now. Now they are fucking directly beside the president with his ear. And do you think one of the world's richest cryptocurrency fucking owners is suddenly going to want to regulate cryptocurrency? to do anything about it? Absolutely not.
One day later? Like, how is this supposed to be a serious thing? And yet, Melania coin is worth a full diluted value of about $7 to $8 billion right now. So, does anything mean anything? I do think people have the attitude right now that they don't actually care, that it's, everyone kind of knows this is a grift. This is not like going to be around in 4 years. There's nothing of value here. They just all think someone dumber than them is going to come along. But eventually the dumbest person will have arrived. Some of you might be watching right now, right? The smarter of you probably didn't even know this coin existed. But the reality is, like, there can only be so many people who are in line thinking, oh, the next guy's going to buy it higher from me. Not to mention, Melania's coin also unlocks sooner than Trump's did. Like, so they don't even pretend like it's even as serious of a project. It's like even more of a grift. Unlike Trump's, which locked for 3 to 12 months, this one locks for 30 days and then only for 13 months. So it's just so obvious. Like, does anybody see this? I don't know. It's wild. And because all the crypto people have aligned themselves sort of like with like Trump, because they thought he was going to be the next Satoshi Nakamoto, create the Bitcoin strategic reserve. Instead, he turned out to be Hawk to a girl, and like pivoting on that is hard because he also not only appoints the law enforcement, he also appoints the regulators of crypto. So you've got Coinbase, Binance, Kraken tripping over themselves to list this token, which is going to wreck a lot of people. I mean, I know we love to make fun of Hawk to a girl, but if you actually think about it, Trump's coin is going to hurt way more people. It's a coin that stacked 4-1 against you, where the guy against you is the president of the United States. I don't know what to say. What are you going to do? Sue him if he takes your money? Like, at least you sued Hawk to a girl, or you sued the guys behind it. How are you going to get your money back from this? You're not. So, yeah, it's insane. The Melania coin also was registered a day before it launched, just further validating the idea that this is not a serious thing. I want to show you how insane this market is. I don't think many people not in the trenches know how crazy this coin is. So I got to just compare it to something. So everyone who's not in crypto, you guys probably know what the S&P 500 is, right? That's back in the day, we used to buy companies that were built around earnings, profit, fundamental valuations, okay? I know this is like ancient times, but the S&P 500 is the collection of the best of those companies and a basket of companies. So I was looking at some of those, and a lot of them have market caps lower than the Trump coin at its peak. At the peak of Trump's coin, meme coin, it was worth $70 billion full diluted valuation. FedEx is worth $65 billion. CVS, $66 billion. Target, $64 billion. Not even worth what Trump started.
And just to put that in context, you can hate those companies, for sure. I do. They make things. There's stuff on the other end. There's stores. There's cars. There's banking sectors. This is a token. It's a digital token. You're buying a digital token, hoping that that digital token will be worth more the moment after you buy it than when you bought it. That's what it is. You're putting $70 fucking billion into a meme coin. And that's all there is to it. Where one person controls the vast majority. When he says there's a 4-1 against you, what he's talking about is that's how much more Donald Trump owns than anyone else, and that's how much more power he has to manipulate his own like currency or sell his own currency if he sees so fit than anyone else will. It's like it's such grotesque and shameless grifting transparently out in the open, and CoffeeZilla is totally right. Who's gonna stop him? Like, is it the president of the United States? Are you serious?
Oh,
like, who's gonna sue him? Who's gonna fucking regulate him? Who's gonna regulate any of this now? Zachap, thank you for the rating party of 27. Everyone go to twitch.tv/Zachap. There's valuetainment on the other end. Yeah, that's it. You're buying valuetainment. You're buying tokens.
A day, 2 days ago is worth. Now, of course, I want to say full diluted valuation is a very misleading metric, but that is the equivalent price people were paying. Just think of it that way. People were willing to pay the equivalent of, for one little share of the Trump meme that they would have paid for Target. With actual stores. It's crazy. I will say, for those of you who are feeling a little lost, a little confused, like me right now, where I just go like, what do I do now? This stuff doesn't last forever. These are bubbles, and sometimes bubbles can last a while, but
Oh, he's close. He's close to getting it, everybody. Soon we'll have Comrade Coffeezilla. Yeah, they're bubbles. That doesn't change the fact that Donald Trump is now one of the world's richest humans. And at the end of the day, while there's going to be a lot of people losing their Cybertrucks, oh boy, is there ever. There's going to be so many dealerships having Cybertrucks returned where it's just like, I got to do this. I just lost a fucking $150,000 on Trumpcoin. What do I do? There's going to be a lot of divorces, a lot of separations, a lot of, I can't believe you took our children's college fund and you put it all into a meme coin based around the president or a meme coin based around the first lady. And now it's all gone. All the money's gone because overnight that value can suddenly just sink. If you want a good example of that, look at Trumpcoin. On Sunday, Trumpcoin dropped in half its value, meaning that if you bought at its peak, all of a sudden the coins that were worth, I don't know, what were they, $70 a coin suddenly became $40 a coin, meaning $100 that you put in became $50. Just like that. Boom. Instantaneously. You just lost half. Hopefully you only put in $1 because then you just get down to 50 cents and that's not so bad. You were basically just playing a game. But for everyone else who put in significant amounts of money, you got significant losses. All your apes gone. Yeah, just like that.
His term in the president's room at the Capitol, where he'll sign documents nominating people to positions within his administration. Later in the day, there'll be a second signing ceremony in the Oval Office. If he follows through on campaign promises, it'll be a flying start. Expect to hear a lot about executive orders. These are directives of the president about how the federal government is managed. In the first day of his term, Joe Biden...
Oh, yeah, by the way, I saw the clip where Joe Biden is like, welcome home or whatever. No one's going to believe any of these spineless cowards ever again. I hope not, anyway. I hope everyone learns that, like, corporate Democrats are the ones that made all of this possible as well. Just fucking laid out the red carpet after spending months trying to tell you, oh, yeah, the guy's a fascist. He's Hitler, too. He's going to bring in fascism. He only cares about the corporate elites. And then as soon as the election's over, it's like, we have to have decorum. We have to show that when they go low, we go high. We are not going to do any kind of a revolt. We are going to do a peaceful transfer of power. We are more than happy to assist him in all ways as he now takes over the government of the United States again.
Signed 17 executive orders. That's far more than his predecessors. And there are signals that the incoming White House plans to move even faster, already planning as many as 100 executive orders. What might those first orders be during the campaign?
Yeah, exactly, like the TikTok thing. I saw so many fucking liberals online being like, I can't believe that like conservatives and MAGA played the long game. Look, it's all laid out there. The whole thing was just set up. Apparently the CEO of TikTok is going to be at the inauguration. The whole thing is colluding with Trump. Then why did you sign the fucking bill into law? You did that. What, the long game that you participated in? That was a bipartisan bill. That was a bill that both sides were like, yeah, we need to do this to stop China. China bad. China spying on us, and they are using our data. Are you going to pass a Data Protection Act? No. We want American companies to be able to use your data. That's important. Okay, are you going to go after any of the corporations that have apps in the country that are really bad for, say, like Temu? Are you going to go after Temu, something that is kind of just really promoting the mass consumption of Dollarama products using gambling mechanics? Are you going to go after Temu? No, we're going after TikTok, and it's bipartisan. Everyone agrees this is a good thing. Here's Nancy Pelosi. Tic-tac-toe. We're doing this to stop the influence of other countries in our country. It just so happens that a lot of people on the app happen to be using free Palestine hashtags, but never mind that. And then all of a sudden, Joe Biden signs it into law. The clock is ticking. The company is not selling to anyone else. Days are remaining. And then it's supposed to go down under the law. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, you just handed Trump the easiest win of all wins. All he has to do now is scoop in, talk to the CEO, say that he's going to buy them another 90 days, get the app reinstated, and then the app obviously is going to then, because ByteDance is a multinational corporation led by billionaires who do not care about people. Doesn't matter what country they're from, it's the same story in every other fucking country. This is a problem that is international. And then, of course, they're going to cozy up to the president and the administration that are going to continue to allow them to operate and make more money. And that's exactly what happened. And then all of a sudden, all of Gen Z suddenly saw on their screens, 170 million users, that Trump was saving their favorite app. What a fucking slam dunk that you handed over to them. What an easy win. Unbelievable. Again, liberals just paving the way for all of this shit.
Trust the liberals. They will betray you.
Campaign, Trump made scores of promises about the things he'd do on day one. The easiest, to repeal some of Joe Biden's executive orders, just as Biden did to his 4 years ago. Trump has said he'd revoke Biden's orders around background checks for gun purchases and diversity, equity and inclusion in the federal workforce. But the topic he's spoken about the most is immigration. He said on day one, he would end birthright citizenship and...
We will begin, and we have no choice, the largest deportation operation in American history. We have no. On my first day back in the White House, I will terminate every open borders policy of the Biden administration.
He might also look to make changes to electric vehicle standards, energy policies, and offshore drilling rules.
It'll be done immediately, and we will drill, baby, drill.
He's talked about pardoning some of the people involved in the January 6th riots 4 years ago. Some of these orders may not be within his authority. They might be challenged in court and could be struck out. Indeed, it's pretty clear that some of the things he said he'd do on day one would be overturned. He's promised to cut funding to schools on day one if they allow discussions about race, gender or sexual orientation that he deems inappropriate, or if they have vaccine or mask mandates.
Fascism. This is what this all is. And again, the worse things get economically, which they are about to get much worse, much worse. I mean, if you don't have the president himself actively fleecing his own fans, getting them as poor as fuck by grifting them with cryptocurrency, he's now about to launch dual tariffs on both Mexico and Canadian imports, which again will be met with retaliatory tariffs from both countries. And that's going to result in, again, estimated hundreds of thousands of jobs lost, which also is going to destroy economies on both sides. Again, disaster economically, but that is a fertile ground for fascism to continue to proliferate, because that's when you start pointing towards the other. That's when you start pointing out, well, yeah, this isn't Trump's doing. This, of course, is immigrants. And that's why we need to continue to do what we're doing. We're trying hard. We're diligently sending as many ICE agents out as possible, rounding up as many immigrants as possible, jailing as many immigrants as possible. Once we run out of immigrants, we can move on to, I guess, trans people, gay people, because they are trying to, use their insidious gender ideology and homosexual indoctrination in our schools. We're going to continue to move down the list. In Gaza, footage has finally been coming out of what the genocide looks like. If you haven't seen it for yourself or for your own eyes, or if you have people who are continuing to deny it, please send them the drone footage and the photos that are coming out right now. This puts it very clearly. If it looks like Hiroshima, that's because Israel has dropped the equivalent of 4 atom bombs on them. And at this point, you know, I do not have any hope that Israel is going to stop their horrifying catastrophes. I think that the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu is already announcing that he already has assurances from both Donald Trump and Biden that he is allowed to continue military operations in a short period of time. I mean, maybe the only piece of hope coming out of this is that Ben Gvir quit because he wasn't even ready for a pause in genocide. But yeah, it's absolutely fucked. The good news coming out of all this is the absolute joy that I'm seeing, obviously, in the eyes of children in Gaza who are celebrating that maybe they will have, you know, a couple months of peace in between when the West decides to permit Israel to continue to do it again.
Then the far left will hate on the pundits.
Whoa! Hassan calling out Hassan. It's finally happening. I feel like I caught a stray here because I was like, yeah, that's true. That is going to be me. It's going to be one of the things that I'm doing for the next 4 years. Shots fired.
Simultaneously, MAGA will then hate on the lefties and the pundits, and they'll criticize anybody who criticizes the president. Oh, you have TDS, you got Trump, then Elon will be launching rockets, then will quote Babylon Bee in the worst article you could think of with the thinky face emoji being like, interesting. Then the actually data nerds will come in and fact check everybody. It's like, oh, I'm vitamin D deficient. I just live in graphs. So this is actually the truth. Then everybody will on the actually nerds for pretending that they're just calling balls and strikes and just telling it how it is, when really they're just laundering their own political beliefs through graphs. And at the very last step of this process, this entire digital rectal feeding tube will be shoved up the ass of the general public. Each of these steps will play out every hour.
I mean, he's not wrong. Yeah. The only thing that I think he's got incorrect is it's more of a human centipede of misinformation and disinformation, and then it turns into an Ouroboros. That's effectively what it is.
Every day for the next 4 years. It will ruin your f***ing life. It will start with a single fried synapse inside of Donald Trump's brain, and will end by frying a synapse in your brain. And the conduit for that entire journey will be this portal to hell that I can't get rid of because restaurants make me scan the QR code so I can look at the menu. Now look.
Never thought of that. Well, I still have to do that too. It's still a thing. I thought after, you know, the vaccine had kind of gone around and we had the ability, like, can't we just wipe down plastic covered menus with like a disinfectant spray and then hand them back out again? I feel like such a boomer when I'm sitting down there and I just see a QC code already on the table and I'm, oh, all right. Now it's loading. No. We do love each other and we actually interact all the time. That's not it. It's just that I have to look at the menu first. That's why we're both on our phones. This is not a loveless marriage. We do care about each other. I have to see what the menu is. Oh, that's the old website. Fuck. I have to find the new website. Hold on one sec. You just gotta go in there. All right, yeah, I'm ready to order. I'm ready. But while I was on my phone, I did open up WhatsApp for 2 seconds, and 10 friends have sent me links, and I gotta check out those links. Now I am actually on my phone. Now I am using my phone because I'm very, very upset and angry on this lovely dinner date that we're having. It's beautiful.
Good stuff could happen, but bad stuff is going to happen. Real stuff that will make you very angry.
Clean up your room.
But the important
Aussie, call me Plant Lady. Thank you. I appreciate it. And also thank you to Faye Molly, Jiu-Jitsu Guy, and Fumiko Dragon for the subbies.
thing is, what do you do with your anger? Because just feeling strongly isn't enough. You don't want to end up like Cyndi Lauper singing We Are the World, just shrieking into a microphone, out of tune, while everyone around you wishes you weren't invited. Now, there are many ways to solve the world's problems, but I promise you, the answer is not in here. We've had these things for 10 years. Nothing good comes from this. As soon as something crazy happens, our instinct will be to look to the pundits, the podcasters, and other overconfident men to give us a sense of clarity. And their words will feel important, but I am telling you, they're not. Political commentary to Donald Trump is what Coney 2012 was to Coney. Coney the warlord is still on the loose. We did not catch this guy. And the guy who made the Coney documentary crashed out and may have jacked off in public.
Were you also...
Yeah. Got nothing to add to that. I don't know what the fuck happened there. I do remember everyone being really concerned about that whole thing. You know, I do remember everyone being like, yeah, we got to put a stop to this. There's child soldiers and they're getting sexually assaulted and Coney, let's make sure that we end this. And then all of a sudden the guy who had fundraised and collected all the money was running around naked and screaming. And then, yeah, may have jacked off in public. I'm not entirely sure. The whole spectacle was quite strange. Yeah.
Masturbating? Did I hear that too?
There were rumors of masturbation, but no one who was there ever said that that was happening.
Yeah. One of the things I keep hearing is if you're not angry, you're not paying attention. Oh, you better get angry. This is what they want. They don't want you to be angry. You got to be angry. Because if you're not angry, you're not focused. Now, it sounds good, but it begs an important question that my therapist asks me every week. Do you really want to live a life filled with unrelenting, manic anger? Just every day, at work, on Slack, at home, right now, as you watch this video. So here's my advice. Do not let the outrage grifters hijack your brain. Getting up every morning and shoving this rectal feeding tube of rage up your own ass will make you insane. But am I just making you insane? Like, is this just more outrage? Did I build my whole personality on just outrage? Like, is that what am I actually part of the problem? Am I the problem? Maybe it's because I'm actually participating in this grift. I build my...
I feel like this is the Bo Burnham moment. You know, the meta-analysis of your own work and everything that you've contributed that every single content creator, I guess, has to experience at some point or another. You sit there and you're like, yeah, I mean, I understand that I'm an entertainer and that I'm here to entertain you. And I hope that in my small part, I can make the news more palatable. And I know it's a scary thing to want to have to stay informed, but it is important to stay informed. But at the same time, if I can educate you at the same time and point you towards organizing and point you towards joining organizations and realizing that collective worker power truly is the answer to this. We need a revolution, not from the instantaneous gratification of social media, but from the bottom on up, where people collectively get together and realize that they need to have bargaining power against the people, the capitalist class that exploit them, and that truly it is us workers who make things, who generate stuff, and without us society does not function, and that actually gives us an enormous amount of power. Even if we don't have capital, even if we don't have any of the capital, it is actually incredibly important that everyone realizes that, because the more people who wake up to that fact and realize that all of the rest of it is noise, so it's all a bunch of noise, it's all a bunch of sounds and scary people constantly just trying to keep you angry at things that don't actually affect your lives. Which is true. If you actually sat down with all of the transphobes, the ones who were willing to take guns and shoot cans of beer because they thought they somehow would get gay if it touched their lips, if you sat down with those same people and ever asked them, so has a trans person ever fired you from a job? Has a trans person ever denied you a place to stay? Has a trans person ever increased your rent? Has a trans person ever been responsible for you not getting overtime? For you not being able to actually make ends meet? Or is it your boss? Is it your landlord? Is it a corrupt politician who's been lobbied, who has been giving them more power so that they actually legally can do the things that they do to you? Because if the answer to all of that is yes, then why the fuck are you wasting your entire life shooting a fucking can of beer? What is this doing except making, you know, your Tinder profile forever be unswipeable? That's the only net effect of what you're doing right now. You know, uploading this video to the internet, all that's doing is making a lot of people realize, yeah, maybe I shouldn't actually get to know this person, because if I get to know this person, they could harm me or others. So there you have it.
Whole career, like Is my only talent actually getting mad at other things instead of creating original pieces of work?
Thank you. And it's Hassan Minaj. Yes.
No. Because he's not making power to piss off dedicated members.
Just be kind to yourself and only use your phone for important things, like looking at a menu at a Thai restaurant. Please feel free to like, comment, and unsubscribe from everything. My phone's going off. Sorry.
It was entertaining. I will say this. An important takeaway from the entire thing is that it's entirely true to please start recognizing the damage that a lot of social medias can have on your mind. I know it's impossible to look away, and I'm not one to talk, especially like when TikTok was going down. I should have, at that moment in time, just been relaxing beside Chico, petting him. He's doing great, by the way. You know, enjoying his company and cuddling with him. And instead, I was scrolling through. I was doom scrolling. I was just trying to see, like, oh man, this is so sad. 170 million people have not only lost the social media app, but millions more potentially just lost their jobs. Not just content creators, but you have no idea how many editors depend on TikTok creators to be able to have day-to-day lives and pay for the groceries and pay for the rent. I used to be a freelance editor, so I know how hard the market can be, but talking to freelance editors working now, it's basically, they're like, I can't tell you how many of the job offers are for TikTok creators. Just TikTok creators being like, hey, by the way, I'm too famous and I got too much work. Can you please, if you are a good editor, give me your rates, and I'm going to find the cheapest amongst you, and whoever I can pay the least, I will be paying them the least to make the most amount of content for me, so that I can continue to be super, super famous on the internet. That's a lot of people. A lot of people. And it didn't make me happier. I definitely wasn't sitting there being like, oh, I'm more relaxed. Yeah, just seeing solidarity amongst other people who are also kind of freaking out right now is making me more relaxed. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It gets you more angry and more upset, more frightened. And then, of course, you're like, well, I gotta talk about this. I gotta put stuff out there. I gotta make sure more people know how fucked up everything is. More than anything right now, especially as things get, again, increasingly frightening with all of these rich, sick fucks coming into power, I am entirely 100% honest when I say that it is also a time where people are on the verge of getting it. A lot of people who are on the precipice of that. Even the good fucking libs, all right? The John Olivers, the CoffeeZillas, the Legal Eagles of the world, the people who just can't understand it. It doesn't make sense to them that really that there should be a set of standards and rules and order, and that ultimately, how can people who are just the worst human beings who do the worst things in the world continue to win? Well, that's because the entire system is operating as it should. Now they are a lot more blatant and brazen, okay? You want to talk about fucking Davos group meets once a year. That's where the elites all congregate. Yeah, at the Davos group, they decide what the new world order will be. Blah, blah, blah. You are witnessing the elites right now. Some of the world's richest human beings have paid millions of dollars for inauguration for the president of the United States, the richest country in the world with the most powerful army. They are all openly and brazenly and proudly standing beside him smiling, knowing that their pockets will be secured. This is the real world. This is capitalism. Right before you. I know sometimes it seems sick and perverse, but that's the system working as intended. And you can see it. And a lot of them, for a very long time, wanted to hide all this. They wanted to pretend that they actually cared, that they were progressives, that they cared about social issues, they cared about LGBTQ plus people, they cared about hate speech, they cared about whether or not people were calling black people the N-word, they cared about whether or not people were being racist towards indigenous people on their platforms, because deep down, they don't want platforms that foster hate. No. They are pure, unadulterated hate, unfiltered. They just want people to use their platforms for as long as possible and continue to be angry because the attention commodity demands it. That's what it is. We got two.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This independent series is made entirely possible thanks to our patrons. It was produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Bohem, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, and Words Greenwood. Not to mention all the other patrons we now see on screen. We couldn't have done this show without you. If you can help support the show, please check out patreon.com/theserfs to unlock bonus secret episodes as well as get the content before anyone else.